Hello, this is Ryan Oak Reviews, and big day today. It is the review and discussion of episode 210 slash 211, 10th and 11th episode of season 2 of Hell's Kitchen. And this is the finale, the double feature. So, two episodes in one. The whole thing goes up to like an hour 20, I think. But, finale, finally of season 2. I'm excited. I do enjoy season 2 a lot. I think it's just honestly a better season 1. But yeah, let's get into it. So the episode begins with a recap of the first 9 episodes, which I like this. I wish more seasons did this. I know season 4 does it. I don't think every season does it, especially after like a certain point, and not even every season in this era does it. I don't think. But I do enjoy this, especially when episodes are coming out weekly. It makes you remember the people who got up like 4th. Because who remembers like the people? There's not a whole lot that people can do in this to stick out that much. So it's nice to see some of the people that you probably forgot about. There's a quick family visit in the dorms while Heather and Virginia are celebrating. This is less impactful slash important than season 1. Season 1, the loved ones judged their dishes and kind of decided their fate, which I think was a little cruel, but oh well. But this one's just like, hi, family. Bye, family. But yeah. Starting the next day. Whoosh, big curtain come down. Restaurant design. They have to design their own restaurants. And they did this in only the first 5 seasons. Because I think, I'm going to fact check this right now, but in the first 5 seasons, they were competing for their own restaurant. So, Tatao, Ferna. Yeah, I think they're competing for their own restaurant. So that's an important aspect. In season 6 starting, they just go to one of Ramsay's restaurants, which season 6 was like the Araxi in Whistler, BC. Dope, I love Whistler. But that's I think why they did the whole design your own thing. Heather wants to go for a trendy, outgoing, new, exciting one, family oriented, because she's a big family person. Virginia wants to do a classic, darker bistro style. She wants this big waterfall to come down off the looks like I'm green screened. A big waterfall to come down off the on the wall, which would look cool if they can pull it off. And once they did this, they get everything sorted out and decided. Individual challenge. Go to Las Vegas for a signature dish. Create a signature dish, and it's judged by random people. Starting with season 3, they judge this with like past winners. They judge it with Michael from season 1. Yeah, one of the other judges is the winner from this season. So this is the last time that they judged from the people, which I think is smart. Because it's kind of less exciting just getting random people where you get like some prestigious judges or bring back some returning people. These are some guys, you know. In classic Hell's Kitchen fashion, Virginia wins by 1. So Virginia wins again, and it's by 1. So everything checks out. This is Hell's Kitchen. So her reward is to pick first for her brigade. And this is where my theory comes back from last season. Last season, Michael won this challenge. He ended up winning the season. So the idea is, does the person with the first pick get to win, usually, because that's a pretty big advantage going in. Last season, also, Ralph threw with his choosing. So, we'll see when I get back to the team selection how that comes into play. The restaurant design comes back to get to see the progress and whatnot. And it's going not very good for both of them. Heather's missing the plexiglass on her big staircase, so they have to replace it. They have to like cover it up by like just painting something else instead. Her booths are not there yet, which is a problem, because as any host will tell you, the number one place that people want to see is a booth. They always want the booth. Virginia's waterfall is really complex and hard to build, so it's kind of raising concerns that it's not going to be done and how it's going to work, if it's going to work by tomorrow. And yeah, and so they come back the next day, and boom, former teammates come back. It is Rachel, Tom, Sarah, Garrett, Keith, Giacomo. So 6. Not the last 6 that are eliminated, I don't think. Because... was this the last 6 that were eliminated? I don't think so, because I don't think Giacomo and Tom. So let me just double check, because I feel like... yeah, Maribel. Giacomo was 9th, Tom was 8th. But I guess they're bigger characters than, like, Maribel. So yeah. They bring those up back. Virginia picks Keith first, which is kind of dumb and kind of smart. It's smart because Keith works really well with Heather. They were really close, so that would have been a really great duo. It's kind of dumb because Keith does not like Virginia. He's very close to Heather, so he's not going to really get along or listen well to Virginia. So in screwing over Heather, she's screwing over herself. Heather picks Rachel. Rachel is not the best. She tries very hard, but she's not always the best. But they were very close, so it makes sense. That was like best friends. Virginia now picks Tom. For some reason. Tom was not good. He was nominated 3 out of his 4 nights. He was nominated every time that he lost, and he was not good. So there's a fun fact for ye. Heather picks Sarah, which is fine. Sarah is kind of solid, but neither of them like Sarah. I don't like Sarah. Most people don't like Sarah. If there was a Hell's Kitchen heroes versus villains, she'd be a villain, and not like the rootable villain, like Parvati, but like a asshole villain like Russell, but not smart like Russell. Yeah, and Sarah's probably a better pick than like Giacomo, for example, who's one of the remaining ones. So obviously, the remaining 2 are Garrett and Giacomo, so it's pretty clear what happens. Except not. Virginia picks Giacomo over Jarrett, which is also not smart. Giacomo he went home because the oven wasn't on. He was nominated 2 of every time he lost as well. Went home 1 before Tom. I don't know why Virginia does this. Thinks this is a good idea, but oh well, we get to hear a thing later. Heather gets Garrett, which is good because they were also close on the blue team. I don't know why Garrett was picked last. Virginia said she picked Giacomo over Garrett to not hurt his feelings. She would not have to worry about that, and it would work in her favor if she had picked Garrett. But oh well. Virginia's horse to die on. She tells her team after that she picked weak people on purpose. She says, I want to take a team with weak people and prove that I can win, which really motivates them, all of them. Keith blackmails her in response. He says, "I'm not gonna try unless you give me $1,000 if you win," which is classic Keith. That's how K-Dog roll. Or wasn't it K Shizzle? I don't know. They come back after training. They give him all the dishes and whatnot. Giving Ramsey the dishes. He gives his criticisms. And the front of house is complete. Heather's is sleek and white. The only problem is that there's like pillars and white. All these, which there's like graffiti on it with dry erase marker, which doesn't look good. And the fact that it came off so easily makes me think that this criticism may have been staged, but it's also not that incredibly interesting. So, yeah, he just says, yeah, this graffiti is dumb, which I agree with. It looks good without it, but it's just kind of weird. I guess it's a family restaurant, but it's not something you want to look at in a fine dining. Virginia's, her waterfall managed to complete on time, surprisingly. Her environment's very rich, sedated. It's incredibly nice. It's a lot nicer. It's a very nice environment. It's cozy. This lighting is nice. I very much enjoy Virginia's. And I think that's something where Virginia has the edge over Heather, is in design. Because all her dishes do look nice, and she puts a lot of effort into plating them. Service starts, finally. This will determine the winner for the most part. Heather starts off pretty controlling, confident, getting her team on the right wavelength. Virginia starts pretty shaky. Her team can't hear her and they don't call back the tickets, so already two very different starts. Heather's side. Sarah sends salads very fast, off to a good start. Virginia, on the other hand, is taking very long plating the apps. Keith and Giacomo are there trying to help plate, but she pushes them off. She's kind of dictator-y. Heather sends out her app, over half her apps, like very fast. I think within the first hour. No, like before an hour. Very fast. She sends out the apps. But one comes back for being cold, so they have to refire that. Virginia stops Giacomo's salads, one of them, for being too salty, and she gets praised on her quality control, which I think is something she did good at during the pass. All of Heather's apps are sent pretty fast, and again, Virginia's kitchen is slowing down. Giacomo keeps sending raw food, which really slows him down. And then another app comes back from Heather's side. It's just too salty, so Sarah is now kind of screwed 2 apps. So even though she's getting things out fast, she's kind of being weak and screwed over Heather a little bit. On Virginia's side, Tom is trying to cut a chicken. What is it, like chicken rouleau or whatever? And he slices his finger real bad. He has to go see the medic. It turns out not to be that bad. He comes back soon and he's like, "Hey, what needs to be done?" And he sent out entrees. So good on you, Tom, proving me wrong. Virginia's rushing out the dishes. She's trying to get them out fast because she knows she's behind. One of them comes back because it's the snapper is too oily. There's a lot of oil on the snapper. And then when she asks for the refire, Keith says, "We are out of snapper," which is like the worst thing that can happen during a service, to be out of something. So she's panicking there. Heather sends out her desserts, with some quality control. Virginia, shortly after, sends out her desserts, and both kitchens finish service, which is good. They get the whole congratulations, round of applause. The president of Red Rock Resort was there, and he gives a thumbs up to both of them. And yeah, they both trying to figure out speculating who wins while Ramsey's deciding. He's taking everything into account. Customer comment cards, his observations, the Red Rock president's reviews, the sous chefs, and then he's made the decision. The winner, hands on the doors. They got that dramatic music that they always play in the finale. Boom. As surprise to no one, Heather wins. It's really not a surprise. Here's what Ramsey said to it at the end. At the very end. Heather won Hell's Kitchen because of her determination. She stuck to what she knew best and she controlled her kitchen from start to finish. Heather clearly has a great leadership qualities, and for a 25-year-old cook, is a phenomenon. This woman is going to be a big success. My work here is done. It's been a phenomenal journey. I'm ready for the next challenge, and fuck you all. Classic Ramsey. Heather was definitely the best person, pretty much consistently all season. I do think she's a really great winner. Certainly better than some other ones. Like, I want to say Nona wasn't that great, but her whole season wasn't great. Michelle, as some people call it, gets a lot of flack. But I'll have to rewatch that to fully form an opinion on it. Overall, Heather's time leading was a lot better than her first time. And on the other side, Virginia's got worse. It's a good thing Virginia did take her loss with grace, which is good. And yeah, that about does it for Season 2. I enjoy this one a lot more than Season 1. It's still that human aspect. It's not like you can tell it's super scripted, but it's still, more polished. It's less just trying to get onto its feet. I did enjoy it quite a lot. I thought the cast was pretty strong this season. Giacomo and Tom are fun to watch. Garrett, Keith, and Heather are a great pair. Rachel is really strong. Heather's really strong. You know. And yeah. That does it for Season 2. Starting with Season 3. Whenever the next video's out. But overall, Season 2 I think is great. It's one of the best, honestly. It's probably maybe a top 5 season. But I'll have to decide that another time. Okay. That does it for Season 2. Season 3 coming up next. Look out for that. It's awesome.